Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Julia Thatcher.
And I'm Jeff Herndon. Today marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina made landfall in Florida, becoming one of the deadliest and costliest storms in American history.
The entire coastline from Florida past Louisiana experienced the devastation. Once the storm was done, 80% of New Orleans was underwater. People from across the country pitched in. Kansans' Peyton Steiner spoke to those from Kansas who took part in relief efforts.
Yeah, Jeff, Julia, in the immediate days after Katrina, dozens and dozens of supply trucks left the air capital for the Big Easy and the surrounding regions. Inaccessible roads made the journey treacherous, but many still made it. Some for work, some to volunteer, and some for very personal reasons. The devastation seen in 2005 drawing eyes and aid from across the country.
We could still see the helicopters that were doing search and rescue trips.
Kevin Stebrel, former chief photojournalist for KSN News, followed a truck of Kansas supplies to the Big Easy.
We thought it would be good for people who had donated money and supplies to actually see where their donations and money went to.
Stebrel was on assignment. Others had more personal reasons for treading Katrina's waters.
They lost everything. You know, they took that. You know, in that area right there, they took a direct hit.
Bunner's 7-year-old daughter had recently moved with her mother to a town squarely in the disaster zone, so his mission began.
The school and everything was wiped out. It was, you know, pretty close to the ocean, so.
He loaded his truck with food and supplies and headed for Goshen, Mississippi. Still hundreds of miles from his destination, the scope of Katrina's aftermath was already clear.
That's a pretty powerful storm, you know, that's hitting, 400 miles, inland. You're still getting, pretty significant damage.
A normally long trip made longer by downed power lines and flooded roads. But after more than 48 hours, he arrived at his daughter's home.
She lit up like a light bulb.
Bunner's successful mission came as momentary relief from the scale of destruction.
I had a big old smile on my face, that she realized when she looked up, and there it is, and, her dad, I made it to her.
Bunner couldn't stay long. After a few hours of visiting with his family, he brought his daughter back to Kansas, leaving the remaining family members there with food and supplies. Here for you, Peyton Steiner, KSN News.